all Dutch background, every blessed one. I still have a very good schoolmate from those years, but he's in tough shape physically. A bunch of them are gone. We quit having school reunions. I think we had a 60th, wasn't it, Mom? And some of the girls, some of the great-grandmothers said, I think we're going to bag it, but it's just going to be the last one. And that one woman was, she was a leader in school, and she got word out to everybody. And class reunions are funny. Those that live in town don't come, and others for no reason don't attend. Ma and I, my class reunions, we were there, and we met some there that I had not seen since graduation day. And I talked to one, she said, we got a letter from Leona, and she said, this is it. And I thought, well, I'm going to get there. And they had all different ups and downs in life. There was one guy there who was really a swinger in high school, handsome, good man, a lot of fun. And then I gave this leader of the reunion, I gave her 50 or 100, I forget what it was. I said, I know you kids have done a lot of mailings and stuff like that here. Why don't you take this? She says, okay, okay, the name is gone. I'll get a motel for him tonight. He came up from Florida, and she said, I know he hasn't got $5 in his pocket. And he ain't got a credit card.
Talk louder.
Talk louder. Okay, I'll talk a little louder. And that's the way it was. Some people would think go there, others wind up, the bottom of the heap. And it kind of bothers me. That's, I guess, where I feel that everybody should wind up pretty even. We all work hard, and I think we should wind up even. My best friend, too, when he was done with a 35-year radio television business, they paid off the cards. That's it. No, nothing left. And that's the way it goes. Enough of that. In that time, I got names from Pennsylvania. Dad had friends back there, but Cheta Hengst. I still think that he's got to be a French Huguenot. They're from Holland, but Hengst, that's not the best. And then Charlie de Boer was another one, but his name in Dutch was Jelle de Boer. I don't know how some of these Dutchmen get their names. But, I made profession of faith when we lived in Rock Rapids. I think I was 16, probably a senior in high school. Made profession of faith there. In those days, you met with elders of the consistory, and they asked you some questions. And these men were very level-headed Christian men. No egos, no nothing. They were honestly concerned whether you were a Christian and loved Jesus as your Savior. It was really pretty plain. And you answered their questions and said, yes, I do. Didn't have any earth-shaking experiences or visions, or turned around like Paul, or the experiences of David. No, just maybe it's because I was kind of level, but I knew that Jesus was my Savior. And I told the congregation when we lived there, this would be a couple of years later, we were, I will do this. We were just thinking about getting married, and I had been working in a bank, and I knew that I couldn't support a wife on bank wages, because I knew what everybody in the bank was posting into the account, and I was doing all the posting. But anyhow, I said to Dad, I'd like to get married, and I can't working at the bank. And my father is very generous. I was the oldest, sure, I was a boy, yeah. But he says, well, if you want to, I'll buy a bigger farm, we'll start a dairy, and then you can live with us on the farm, and then we'll work together as partners, and then you can get married, And so I said, yeah. And so he found a place by Valley Springs, 260 acres, something like that. And he said, we're going to move there. Well, we're trying every which way to save some money. And I said, well, how far away is it? He said, it's 12 miles. Well, I said, why don't we load up a wagon with a lot of the heavy stuff, everything would go on there. We had a tractor that went 12 miles an hour on the road. And I'll go up there in the afternoon and then unload it, in the yard there, and then come back quick at night, stuff like that. However, there was not a red light on the back of the tractor that day, and I was coming home